Hi guys, welcome to Happy Visas. My name is Philip Port. Today I'm going to be speaking about all you need to know about the British spouse visa. I'm going to be speaking about the pitfalls, common mistakes, common grounds for refusals, what you should put on the application form. But first of all, I'm going to start with, how long does it take to get British citizen? So let's say you start the initial application overseas. Let's say you're not switching in the UK. You're overseas and you want to apply. You get the visa. You move to the UK, and after 2.5 years in the UK, you have to do it all again. And at that stage, you need to show level A2. So initial applications, you can show English test level A1, but after 2.5 years, you need to see progression. So it's better to go straight to B1 if your English is good. Then you don't have to take the test again in the future, because you can use, let's say you do an IELTS, you can use that on future applications. So you don't need it to save you a few £100. So if you can pass the test, go straight to level B1. So after 2.5 years, you extend to 5 years, and at that stage you apply for indefinite leave to remain. So if you're married to a British man or woman, once you get the indefinite leave to remain, and once you've passed your life in the UK test, so you've got to do that as well, you can then apply for British citizenship. So you're going to be spending about £4,500 initial applications, slightly a little bit less because the embassy fee, the home office fees are a little bit cheaper when you extend after 2.5 years. After 5 years, you go into indefinite leave to remain, so you don't need to pay the immigration health surcharge. You just pay the embassy fee, but obviously they increase that fee. I think it's about £2,500, £2,600, and then it's about £1,600 for the naturalisation certificate, which will make you a citizen of the UK, and then if you want, you can apply for a British passport. You don't need to apply, but obviously most people do. So initial application, extension after 2.5 years, 5 years indefinite leave to remain, and then British passport. Now, if for any reason you fall on hard times and you don't make the £29,000 a year, things start to go wrong, then they'll put you normally, especially if you've got kids, they'll put you on a 10-year route. So all of a sudden you've got to pay it again after 7.5 years, and then after 10 years you can apply for indefinite leave to remain. So it's like a 10-year route. Often there's no point switching back. Some people say, get it quicker, switch back from the 10-year route. You now meet the financial requirements. If you do switch back, you're not going to save much. Maybe you'll save a year or maybe 2 years maximum. So often it's better just to wait the 10 years. Now in regards to the application, what I just do, I just put in Google spouse visa application gov.uk, and then it will take me to the website, and you click apply, put in the email, put in the telephone number, and you put in all your details. Your financial details, it's going to tell you what you need to supply normally. So let's say you are employed. You might want to include 6 months pay slips, 6 months bank statements. You might want to include an employment contract or an employment letter confirming that you are in permanent employment, your yearly income, your yearly salary, your position, your start date. And obviously, some people do it over 12 months. It's easier just to do it over 6 months if you've made a minimum of £2,417 every month. You can, with employment, you can combine savings. So you could, if you got over, I don't know what the threshold is now, it used to be £16,000. If you had over that, you could include some savings to get down your liability for for your salary. Now, if you are a director of a specified limited company, a lot of my clients are self-employed, then it's going to be the financial year of the company. So you're going to be supplying 12 months personal bank statements, 12 months business bank statements if they're available, your VAT returns. You're going to have to do it for the financial year of the company, and then you're going to have to show that you're still employed with 1 month's bank statement showing the salary, your pay slips and things like that. So, and a specified limited company is a company with less than 5 shareholders, and you're employed by them, and it's a family member or yourself who is the owner. So a specified limited company, if you're working for one of them, like where it's a family-run business, to stop any abuse of the system, they're going to ask for a lot more documents. So if it's got 6 shareholders, then probably you can be just employed. In other words, just 6-month bank statements, dividend statements, things like that. But it would have to have more than 6 shareholders, 6 or more shareholders. Now, suitable accommodation, just supply a mortgage statement. If you've got kids, if you're sponsoring kids as well, the threshold is still £29,000. It's not going to increase, but they want to see that the suitable accommodation, that the kids have their own room. Girls can share with girls, boys can share with boys, and after a certain age, they would need, if they're a boy and a girl, they would need separate rooms. You don't need to get the council down. They're going to take your word for it. They're going to look at, what documents you supply to prove you're the owner, maybe a title deed, maybe a mortgage statement, and then on the application form, it's going to ask how many bedrooms, how many lounges. You can include the lounge. So if you've got like just 1 bedroom and a lounge, that counts as 2 rooms. So in other words, you and your kids could sleep in the lounge and in one of the bedrooms. So that would be fine. That's a common mistake that people make, is they don't think they can include the lounge, but they can actually. So as long as you've got a separate kitchen, separate lounge, you're fine. I wouldn't be paying the expense. In 99% of cases, I wouldn't be having the council come down to do a check. You don't need that. I've never really done it before. Sponsoring kids as well, if they're not your kids, then you're going to need a notarized letter from the father or the mother. Normally it's the father who will give this letter. Normally it's the mother moving with the kids, obviously. If they're bringing kids, if the father objects, the biological father objects to the child moving to the UK, then what is going to happen is the kids can't go. They'll just give your wife or your husband the visa, but they'll refuse the kids. So you got to bear that in mind as well. Keeping good relations with the father or the mother of the children, who because you'll need their permission for them to move to the UK, and it has to be, in most instances, not to have delays. It has to be notarized. If it's just a signed letter, they're going to be contacting the ex-husband, and he could say something stupid, and and then all of a sudden the entry clearance officer says, well, I called your husband, he objected, and we are not allowing the kids to move to the UK. So that's a common mistake as well. Now What I would say is, you can do it on savings. You can also sell a property. If you've got a lot of savings, or you've just sold a property and you've owned that property more than 6 months, or you've had them savings more than 6 months, there is a possibility just to do it on, if you're a high net worth individual, then you wouldn't need employment. You need to explain where them funds came from, a brief letter, so that would be fine. In a lot of countries, the applicant needs a TB test. Obviously, as I've mentioned, unless they're from America, Australia, Canada, English-speaking countries, then they're going to need an English test. So make sure they can speak at least level A1, the initial application. So that's very important as well. Now, in some instances, all you really need is the marriage certificate. But if there's any adverse immigration history, then you've got to start showing lots of photographs with the dates and the location on the front of the photograph. If the parents have met, include them in the photographs. This is our parents meeting, maybe it was at the wedding, things like that. So if there's any adverse immigration history, let's say, and you think they might want to check, include the photographs, show the relationship, show that you cohabited together, anything that shows you've been on holiday together, visas, entry stamps, plane tickets, hotel bookings. But in theory, some people have arranged marriages, they've never met before, and they get the British visa no problem. So it's not critical, but in some instances it's better to include that you've met. Quite important. So the excuse me, my throat has gone. So if you're not sure, if just include photographs, names, dates, location on the front of the photograph, because they're going to scan them. Now, in some countries, VFS Global have had difficulty allowing you to upload the documents. Now, you're going to be in a little bit of a dilemma, because if you download them from the app, they accept them as original documents, and you can download them from your app, your banking app, sorry, and upload the banking documents as proof of income, not a problem. But if you're going to just print them out and they're going to scan them in the visa centre, in reality that's not an original document anymore. So you've got to go into your branch and get them all stamped and send them to your spouse. So it's always better, if you can, to upload all the documents yourself. Again, it's a grey area. I went into VFS Global and I said, look, your system is down. It's not allowing anybody to upload the documents. Everybody has to go to VFS Global. This is actually in Moscow, actually. I don't know if it's a problem in any other countries. And how can I give you the document stamped? It's very difficult. They've got to go to the bank, get them stamped, send them by courier to Russia, and there's no couriers coming here. So you get my point. It can be a nightmare trying to get the bank statements, because they have to be original. Whereas if you download them from the app and make sure they're proper statements, so many people print out transaction history and they get refused. Make sure it's a statement on there. Make sure it's got all the covering letter. It will not just be your statements, it'll be a lot of text there as well. So a lot of people just download the transaction history and make a mistake. So when you log into your app, that is fine. Download them in PDF and upload them onto the Home Office website. I strongly advise that you do it yourself. Don't let the visa centre do it. It's I wouldn't say very easy, it's a little bit time consuming, but it's not rocket science. If I can do it, and I'm not a technical person, anybody can do it. Anybody at all can do it. Now, if you don't meet the financial requirements and you get some kind of government allowance, like a carer's allowance, then as long as you meet the financial thresholds, as long as you can show that you can support your spouse when they're in the UK, you won't have to meet the £29,000 financial requirements. A quick Google search will tell you the amounts. I think it's about, you need to have an income of about £900 a month, I think it is. It's not so much, so as long as you can, even with the carer's allowance or invalidity allowance, all these different allowances that the government give for, if you have some kind of disability, you can in some instances not need to meet the financial requirements. Guys, I don't get paid for these videos. I do them for free, so please please subscribe, and I'm about to put buy me a coffee below, so if you can buy me a couple of coffees for if you found this video informative. Very soon I'm going to be doing a video of the application form again, a few minor changes, nothing major. So I'm going to be doing the whole application form online, so you can see how I answer all the questions, how I navigate the application form. Please subscribe, please like. Thank you very much, guys. Bye.